Now, Storm Watch 12 weather with meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
Welcome back to News Watch 12 midday, and this graphic continues to be lit up because we have a couple more days of very excessive heat. That's why we have this excessive heat warning in place for Siskiyou County, for the Klamath Basin, for the West Side Valleys, and then this heat advisory that is for this little slice of northeast Siskiyou County and for the Great Basin. All of these run until 9 p.m. on Saturday. Just take a gander at some of these temperatures already. This is unbelievable. 93 already for Klamath Falls, 93 for Lakeview, mid-90s for the Shasta Valley. We're lagging a little bit behind in the Rogue Valley, but we'll get there, I promise you. And 61 degrees there along the coast in Brookings, where the marine layer is keeping us very, very cool relative to what we're seeing inland. All right, the haze has kind of thinned out over the past couple of days, but still our air quality is being subtly impacted. It's moderate for Grants Pass, Medford, Klamath Falls, and for Wairika. It's staying pretty good because of the marine layer there along the coast. Let me show you what happens a little bit later today. So the smoke continues to thin out. It's still just kind of swirling around the Newswatch 12 viewing area. It'll get even thinner into Saturday, and then we have a storm system that's going to move through in the Sunday to Monday time frame. That's going to shift the winds out of the west, and it'll kick most of the smoke out of here into Nevada and into Idaho. So we should see even further improvements to our air quality. All right, let me show you what happens a little bit later in the day as it pertains to stormcast. You can see all this green bubbling up on the map as we get into the late afternoon or early evening. Most of this won't be rain. These will be dry thunderstorms. So we're expecting more lightning, again, mainly along the Siskiyous and along the Cascades. We've seen some wildfire starts, some lightning-induced fire starts over the past couple of days. So that's definitely going to be a threat for today. I think it's going to be an even bigger threat for Saturday because you're seeing some of these yellows, some of these oranges. That's representing some even more potent thunderstorms. So that would mean that we'd have more abundant lightning output. So that is definitely not good news for fire danger. And I think we'll see an even more favorable setup on Sunday. So it's just bad news compounding with even more bad news. And the Storm Prediction Center is kind of on the same page with me. They've outlined this area in brown for isolated dry thunderstorms to start some more wildfires, just like what we've seen over the past couple of days, because all the vegetation really inland of the Newswatch 12 viewing area is just asking to be burnt. And part of the reason is because we've just been so hot, and today will be historically hot. Montague for the third day in a row could tie or break the previous all-time high temperature record. Of course, last year in Medford, we hit 115. We'll get pretty close to that. Also cutting it pretty close in Klamath Falls and Mount Shasta City. So a historic day we'll have today, historic heat, also dry lightning, like I've already mentioned, for the Siskiyous and Cascades, pretty hazy because of the smoke coming from the Oak Fire. Then overnight, our temperatures will back off, but not by much. 50s and 60s over on the east side, mid 70s for the West Side Valleys, 50s there along the coast where we'll continue to see some marine layer induced fog. All right, a little bit of bad news, good news. The bad news today is going to be just uncomfortably hot outside, all right? That's kind of stating the obvious. But the good news is that we cool off in a hurry, actually seeing below average temperatures as we get into next week. Here's your 7-day forecast along the coast, keeping temperatures pretty moderate over the next 7 days. Will be in the mid 60s. That'll definitely be the place to be as opposed to what we're going to see inland. Historically hot days for today. Tomorrow, cooling off a little bit into Sunday for Siskiyou County. And again, we are tracking those chances for not necessarily showers, but more so thunderstorms and dry lightning. We'll also see that potential over on the east side where those fuels are getting just about as dry as they can get. So that is obviously terrible news. And the bad news gets even worse because winds are going to start to pick up into Monday and Tuesday. So that's not good news for fire danger. Then up in the Cascades, of course, we're still tracking the progress of the Tolo Mountain fire. And so with more lightning strikes on the way, just kind of hold your breath is what I'm trying to say. And then for the Rogue Valley, maybe the hottest day ever today. That's definitely not an exaggeration. Cooling off, thank goodness, in the next week.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be this excited to see temps go back into the 90s, but I'll take it when I can.
Just kind of the very hot hand we've been dealt.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Josh.
Of course.